basically the algorithm is judging us on our watch time per impression. Like if you're starting YouTube today, it's really important to make sure that your thumbnails, your branding, your videos, your audio, all of that stuff is on point. The idea is how long can you keep people on your channel?
Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Animaker Genius Talk, a talk show where we interview genius minds from the world of videos and transfer some of their amazing knowledge to you. Today, I have an amazing guest. I'm pleased to present to you YouTube content creator, speaker, consultant, and live streamer, Nick Nimmin. Welcome to the show, Nick. I'm happy to have you here today.
Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. I'm pumped up and excited to share some awesome information with your viewers and listeners today.
Amazing. So let me just give you a simple brief of how this is going to work today. We have three amazing sections. The first one is what we call the genius journey. All right. Every great story always starts with the hero's journey. Nick, sure. You're the hero of the show today. So tell us your journey of how you came into the YouTube world.
My journey started actually 4 years ago when it comes to YouTube, almost 4 years ago. September will be 4 years. And for me, I actually started my channel as a solution to a problem. For me at the time, my main focus at the time was a graphic design company that I was doing with my brother. And we had some difficult clients, and we both started talking about, hey, we don't want to serve these particular clients anymore, but they were our bread and butter, so to speak. So if we were to let those clients go, then we would have been in a situation financially. So we just had to keep on going. But when we were having that conversation on, what else can we get into, neither of us had an answer. So what we did is we both went out to explore different options. And one of those options that I started exploring was YouTube. Now, when I first started the channel, I had no idea what I was doing. My initial idea was just to, set it up as a marketing asset to where I would, basically take viewers and then I would convert them into email addresses. And that's kind of what the initial motivation was. And then from there, that definitely started working. And then from there, after a handful of videos, I had another content creator reach out to me and they said, hey, the way that you present and things like that, I think that you would do well on another type of channel. And they offered their help if I wanted to give the type of channel a shot. And because I was looking for solutions, I said, yes, absolutely, I'm in on that. And we spent the next 9 months or so putting together another channel. And that channel started doing great. However, I got so into making videos and making video content and the whole vibe and culture of what was going on with YouTube that when I was faced with the decision of I need to work on my design business or I can make videos to put on YouTube, I always kept defaulting to YouTube. Now, the downside of that is, of course, those frustrations that I was having with clients, of course, got amplified because, I started slacking and things like that when it came to missing deadlines and things like that when it came to the design service. And in that process, I'm doing the design work. I'm uploading 3 videos a day. And the type of content I was making at the time was educational content. So I had to go research the topics, understand the topics enough that I could convert them into a script format that other people would be able to understand and then put the actual videos together. So I was working, 2 full-time jobs on the YouTube channel and plus my full-time business with my brother on the design service. And what happened is I burned out. And I just couldn't manage everything. And I burned out, I dropped the ball, and I had a decision to make. I said, okay, I have to make sure that I'm serving my design clients right now, because if I don't, because I live in Thailand. So I said, if I don't, then I'm going to have to pack up and I'm going to have to go home. And that's definitely not something that I want to do after being out of the country for so long. So I said, okay, I have to pay more attention to my design business. So I'm going to have to make decisions. I want to stay on YouTube. I want to keep doing YouTube. But this particular type of content has taken me way too long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my original internet marketing channel and I'm just going to start sharing, some general video tips and things like that. But before I do, I'm going to create an online asset, which is tubertools.com. It's my website. I'm going to create this online asset so that when people are coming and they're viewing those videos, that I can take those viewers, I can recommend my website to them, and then they can go to the website and they can buy from a store. And I started doing that. And I also offered some services of branding packages and things like that off of the website. And what happened really quickly was YouTube actually took over in terms of the income. So the traffic that I was driving from YouTube to my website started getting greater than my design income, and my design income, you know, because of my interest in YouTube, was slowly going down anyway. So there was this perfect moment in time. It was probably, I don't know, over the course of maybe 2 or 3 weeks, to where this was just starting to, like, this was hitting the bottom, the design service, and then the YouTube channel and the efforts that I was putting in there, driving traffic to my website, started picking up, and literally the YouTube caught the loss in the design, and then I was able to basically springboard from there and convert everything that I'm doing into building a full-time business around what it is that I'm doing on YouTube. So that's pretty much the journey, how it took place, in terms of what got me, you know, kind of stuck into YouTube or excited about YouTube. But in terms of the type of content that I create now with helping other creators learn how to grow their channels, make videos, and all types of other YouTube related stuff, that happened when I did a collaboration with a friend. Because initially my thought was I'm just going to share ideas on, you know, like how to do videos and things like that. It wasn't necessarily YouTube specific, even though I did have some YouTube related content. I didn't have that focus of, well, I'm just going to do YouTube specific. I'm just going after content creators. What happened is I did a collaboration with a friend of mine, Brian D. Johnson, about how to rank your videos in search on YouTube specifically. And then I started getting all these messages. People are like, hey, you know, you should give more YouTube tips, and you should start, you know, sharing more about what you know from YouTube and blah, blah, blah. So I said, okay. And then from there, I started sharing the information that I'd learned from working with the other consultants on the other channel. And then I learned from, you know, the resources that I've, you know, done from studying my own stuff, and started working with other creators and studying their channels and helping them get their channels off the ground and all of that. And then, you know, over time, that just kind of leads me to where I am today. So it's been a great ride, for sure.
Definitely, that's a very great ride. But in this entire journey, tell us one thing. When did you actually transform from a, you know, struggling video creator who was struggling to get views to this prolific YouTube influencer that you are today? How did that transition happen?
Well, the transition happened just like, you know, most YouTube channels, they don't just take off right out of the gate, right? Most YouTube channels, it's a marathon, right? It's not a sprint. YouTube definitely, without question, is a long game, so to speak. So what happened is I just kept seeding content. I just kept putting out content, and then over time, you know, the views kept increasing and things like that. And then the algorithm picked up on it and said, hey, not only are we feeding more views in here, but the audience is really getting into this content. And then the algorithm itself started promoting my channel, because, you know, of course, you can apply strategy to all this stuff to where you're sending, you know, people deeper into your own videos and things like that, so that you're doubling up or tripling up or quadrupling up on the views that you're getting per viewer and the watch time that you're getting per viewers and things like that, which can kind of trigger these things. But the algorithm took notice. And then over the past, I would say 18 months or so, my channel has grown. Well, actually, in the past year, my channel has grown almost 200,000 subscribers in the past year.
Wow, that's an amazing journey. And of course, consistency is the key that you just pointed out. Okay, so how did you get into YouTube Live? I understand that not a lot of YouTubers are utilizing it as well as you are. So tell us how this journey started.
So with YouTube Live, my first live stream on YouTube was actually a thumbnail tutorial, to where I said, hey, I'm going to make a thumbnail tutorial, and I'm just going to show people, you know, how to do a thumbnail, because I need to get a video up, but I didn't have a video at the time. So I said, hey, I'm just going to go live. That very first live stream, I think I had 2 or 3 viewers that came in, and I was so excited about it. I was like, oh, hey, people are here actually watching. This is amazing. But at the time, I think I might have had, you know, 1,000 subscribers or something like that. Okay. Scene fades to, you know, a nice handful of months down the road. I'm right around the 10,000 subscriber mark, and the same friend that I did the collaboration with, he sent me a message on Facebook, and he said, hey, do you have the access to the YouTube mobile on your phone, or the mobile live streaming on your phone? And I was like, oh, here, let me check, because I was within that range of requirements. So I said, let me check, and I looked on my phone, and I did have it. And I was like, oh gosh, this is great. So I'm going to be one of the first people that are going to, you know, run out there and share this. So, so I literally went to the other room, sat in front of my black screen, which is what I recorded in front of at the time. And I just held my phone up like this, and people just came rushing into that live stream. And I think that in that particular live stream, I think that I had around like somewhere between 80 and 100 people in there pretty much the whole time, which, you know, at the time that was like, wow, this is incredible that I have this many people in here that are listening to me in real time. And that kind of like lit my fire because I didn't even realize it. But the whole time I'm sitting there, I ended up putting my phone on a little tripod, but the whole time I'm sitting there, I wasn't being mindful of the time. I was just engaging in the chat and answering people's questions and just kind of interacting with the audience. And 3 hours went by on that first live stream. Well, technically the second live stream. And I was like, wow, this is just amazing. And afterwards, I had this buzz, so to speak, because it was like, man, I had this audience, you know, this engaged audience of people that were sitting there listening to me, that I was able to talk to. They were able to talk to me in real time, and I was just blown away by it. And then after that, I started live streaming. I made it a point to start live streaming every week so that I could connect with my community on YouTube.
Your point about thumbnails is also a very important point. Let's catch on that a little bit later into the show.
Okay.
Fine, Nick, let's move on to section 2. I'm very excited about this section because this is what we call picking the genius brain. I'm going to throw some questions at you. I'm going to find maximum value from your questions and pass it on to my audience for free. Sounds good?
Fantastic.
All right, let's go on to question number 1. In this crowded YouTube world, do you really believe it's too late to start your own YouTube channel now?
Not at all. I think that we are just on the beginning. I think this whole machine is just starting up. Of course, just like in anything else in life, you know, there's going to be this constant evolution that's going to happen. And I don't know if YouTube specifically, if the big hit is going to be on YouTube, but just making video content in general. It's really important for people, like if they're just starting out right now, to understand that one, it's definitely without question not too late. Like if you're considering starting a YouTube channel and starting to make video content, do it now because you want to get in before it is too late, right? So start now. But when it comes to video content, you know, just because you make videos for YouTube doesn't mean that you can't upload your videos to Facebook or that you can't upload videos to Instagram or that you can't use those videos in other places. So it's really important for content creators to think of themselves more as content creators than just YouTubers, because on the horizon, very close on the horizon, you know, we're going to have serious competitors that are going to start coming into the space that have the financial backing, that have the technology behind them to actually be a competitor for YouTube. And because of that, it's really important to not lock yourself into this box thinking, well, I can only make videos for YouTube, because your job as a content creator is to make videos. And then the platforms are just tools, whatever platform it is that you happen to use, those are just tools to get your videos in front of other human beings, right? So in terms of starting YouTube, is it too late? Absolutely not. In terms of video, definitely not. And if you're considering it, you absolutely should, because video and live streaming, even like, you know, different versions of video, like 360 as an example, and all of that, like we are just on the beginning of all of that stuff.
Wow, that's really inspirational. But how would you grow a YouTube channel that's starting out today? I mean, what worked for you 4 years ago would not definitely work right now, right? So can you share some hacks that we can?
Yeah, I work with channels. I mean, one example, you can see my brother's channel is another example. You know, we've gotten him like 7,000 subscribers right now in 3 months. And wow. Like the big idea is making sure, like if you're starting YouTube today, it's really important to make sure that your thumbnails, your branding, your videos, your audio, all of that stuff is on point, because it's really important that people stay on your videos for an extended period of time. It's really important that people are clicking on your, thumbnails and titles. And let me reframe this. Okay. Basically, the algorithm is judging us on our watch time per impression. Okay. So what that means is, if you have a thumbnail and a title, and that thumbnail and title is getting shown in all these different places around YouTube, when somebody sees that and it's, you know, fully, like if it's halfway on the page, it doesn't count. But if it's, you know, the full thumbnails on the page, that counts as an impression. Okay. Now, what you're getting judged on is, one, how many people click on that compared to the other thumbnails around it. And then from there, once they click on that, once they land on your video, how much time are they watching that video for? Okay. Now, if you can make it to where they're clicking on your thumb more than other people, and they're also watching your video for a longer period of time than other people, that's how you win. And then you can amplify that even more by saying, okay, not only am I going to make effective thumbnails, not only am I going to have people watching my videos for a longer period of time, because I'm going to study my analytics inside of YouTube to learn what my particular audience responds to. Not only am I going to go through that part, but I'm also going to tell people in my videos, hey, I made another video about this. So if you enjoyed this video, definitely, click on the link at the top of the screen and go watch that. I've got links in the description to other playlists you might be interested in, to where you basically build a watch time trap or a view trap, so that when people come in and they watch one of your videos, not only are you getting that watch time per impression from that one video, from that one thumbnail that was displayed, but you're amplifying that within your own channel by sending them deeper into the other content that you make. And here's the thing. Inside of the YouTube Creator Academy, YouTube publicly, they have this inside of YouTube Creator Academy to where they say, if a user goes deeper into YouTube from your video, that video that they go deeper from, especially if you're doing it in mass, is more likely to get promoted to other users elsewhere on the platform. So it's basically the idea is, how long can you keep people on your channel? How long can you keep people watching your video from that one thumbnail that's being shown all over YouTube? And then you amplify that over the course of a very large video library, and you're essentially guaranteed results. But one thing that people really need to be mindful of in that regard is, a lot of people think that, okay, well, if I just put out tons of content, then that's going to do it for me. I don't have to worry about, the other stuff. It's definitely going to work out for me, but that's not always the case. It's really important for people to make sure that before they start putting out tons and tons of content, that you make sure first that you can make thumbnails that people will click on. They don't have to be beautiful thumbnails. They don't have to be works of art. They just have to be effective. And what is effective and what's not effective is going to be different for every single niche. So it's important that you look at your click-through rate on your thumbnails, and you look at your audience retention reports to see how people are reacting to your content, your audience reacting to your content. Because if the thumbnails that you're making are not generating clicks, and the titles are not generating clicks, and you don't have the ability yet, you haven't learned yet to keep people watching your video for an extended period of time, then it doesn't matter how much content you put out, it's not going to do you any good. But if you say, okay, I'm gonna take these first 25 videos, these first 30 videos, and I'm gonna use these as my training ground to really figure out what my audience is gonna respond to, the people that I'm trying to reach, and the type of content. Maybe your particular audience doesn't want to hear background music. Maybe your particular audience loves background music. Maybe they want to see more B-roll, more graphics. Maybe they don't. Maybe they just want to see you sitting there talking. And your audience retention reports are going to help you discover exactly what it is that your particular audience is responding to. So if you're just getting started, it's really important to make sure that you are focused on studying your analytics to make sure that you're making effective content before you amplify the amount of content that you make. Because again, if you have 1,000 videos, but people are not responding to those videos, then it's not going to do you any good. Whereas if you have 100 videos and all of those videos are optimized specifically for your audience in a way that your audience responds to, then those 100 videos are going to bring you a lot more results and a lot more opportunities than the 1,000 videos will that are not effective.
So quality over quantity is what you're suggesting, right?
Yeah, definitely. And here's the thing is, once you get the quality down, then you lean on the quantity. So you say, okay, what is an acceptable level here with my audience? Because, okay, here's an example. Like on my channel, one thing that I used to do is I used to spend a lot of time making sure to add extra B-roll and extra graphics and things like that. And what I noticed is, I started, as an experiment, I started slowly taking away, hey, I'm not going to use as much B-roll in this one. I'm not going to use as many graphics in this. And my audience doesn't really care. Like my particular audience of content creators, they don't really care if I have that stuff in there. So what happens is that allowed me to create an extra upload per week by not having to spend that extra time on the other stuff, because I was able to look at my stats and see how my particular audience was responding to those particular things like B-roll and extra graphics and things like that. So once you start learning what your audience responds to, then you can find shortcuts to help you find time to make additional content so that you can increase your output.
Wow, that's a lot of information. But with this, we've come to the end of part 1 of this conversation. But if you want to see more of our amazing conversation with Nick Nimmin, where he reveals the 3 biggest mistakes that YouTubers are making right now, go ahead and check out Animaker Genius Talk with Nick Nimmin Part 2.